Now let's get started and put the PIMAMI pattern into our chords. So if you can still not play, so if you're still having a hard time playing that chord progression with 2 strums each, you need to not come to this video yet, but you need to practice that. Once you can switch those chords really easily and quickly, then you're ready for the PIMAMI. So now what we're going to do is we're going to play each chord one time. However, we're going to use that pattern, PIMAMI, one time per chord. So for example, here's our A minor chord, and we're going to play PIMAMI just one time. Then immediately transition into the C chord. Notice that my thumb is on the A string, but it's going to be playing C because of my third finger. Again, just one time. I'm going to go up to the D chord and my thumb goes to the D string. And remember, my first 3 fingers are on the high E, B, and G string, just like before. Play the D chord. One time through the PIMAMI. Switch to that F chord. And again, it's a short F. Keep your thumb on that 4th string. Now, if you get this, you got to really squeeze that first finger down so it covers both first and second string on that first fret. Then we're going to go to the second line of music, back to A minor. Keep your first finger on the second string, first fret. Pivot back to A minor. Move your thumb back to the A string and play that one. C chord. And again, my thumb stays on the A string, the 5th string. Then I go to the E chord, and my thumb is going to go to the low E string. And because the E chord is written twice, we're going to go immediately into that E chord one more time, PIMAMI. Now I'm on to the third line of chords. I'm going to slide my left hand down. While I'm sliding my left hand down, I'm moving my thumb, resetting it on the A string. C, go right to the C chord. D chord. F short chord. Pivot around back to the A minor. Move that thumb back to the A string again. Slide your left hand up to the E chord, and while you're doing that, get that thumb to this low E string. Slide it back down, and while you slide the left hand down to the A minor, slide the thumb back to the A string. And then slide it back up for the E chord. And then, as you wrote in the music, it repeats. So you start again on your A minor. E chord again, third line down, A minor, C, D. Oh, I messed up. So that would be a place where I have to switch D. Oh, still missed it. That's a hard chord transition, isn't it? It's still not good. So maybe I'll just go really slow. Yep, got to switch from D to F. D to F. And you know what? That's a hard switch to bring your arm all the way around. So if that part is giving you problems, maybe just practice the D chord, F chord, D chord, F chord. All right, and practice that one over and over and over and over again until you get it, because it's kind of weird. You can play See, it's easy to do it when you're strumming. You can add all kinds of fancy strumming patterns, but then all of a sudden when you're concentrating on that PIMAMI, suddenly that distance between the D, it's just really tricky and difficult. There it is. And then pivot to the A. And so on and so on and so on. So I wanted to mess up from D to F to show you, and I did, to show you that even though I've played it millions of times, it seems like, it does still give me some problems between D and F. That was my hardest transition as I learned it, to move from D to F. And you just got to be really, really patient with yourself, very deliberate as you switch the hand. There it goes. Now it's starting to feel good. There you go. And the hardest one is to get that third finger on this F note right there and get that thumb to meet it the same time when you come from the D chord. That's really tricky and really difficult. I'm being honest with you. So practice it, practice it, practice it. Another thing that you can do too is pull up your flat music that you transcribed and set the metronome to like 40 or 50 beats per minute. So that way when you play, it goes. Oh, still giving me a problem. So maybe I have to slow down some more. Okay, so it will come. Eventually you'll be able to play it. So practice this on really slow, and then as you get more comfortable with it, go ahead and kind of start to speed it up. But if you listen to the recording of the real performers doing it, the animals, you notice that it's not that fast. And he is using a pick and he's adding some extra notes in there, right? But it's not like crazy. And that's not, crazy fast, but it is kind of medium speed. So let's play together. Ready? Here we go. 1 and 2 and ready, go. Then you repeat. All right, so really, really work on that transition. It will start like this and it'll sound like this for quite a while for you. It'll sound like this. And then you move. And then you move. And then, oh, I forgot my thumb. Get my thumb on my right hand. And then the next one. Yep, okay, we got it. It's going to sound like that for a little while, and that's okay because you're learning, you're learning, you're learning. I'd rather have you learn it, get it good the first time, take your time and really think about what you're doing instead of just rushing through and being sloppy. All right, because remember, what you practice is how you perform. They say practice makes perfect. Well, practice doesn't make perfect. Perfect practice makes a perfect performance. All right, so don't just think, well, if I practice it, it'll get perfect. You could practice something wrong and actually it'll perform wrong because that's how you learn it. Okay, so remember, perfect practice means perfect performance. So when you practice, be very deliberate, be very careful, and really, really concentrate to make sure you're doing it the right way. And and that way you get a nice transition between each of those chords. So this slide with this video and practicing with me might be the longest one that you practice with just because it takes forever to get it. And that's okay. That's why we gave you a couple weeks to get this one down. So keep working every day, you'll get it. And practice just the little parts that give you a hard time. For example, with me, D, F, D, oh, I missed it, right? And keep over and over. And then pretty soon, eventually, it'll get much, much better for you. All right? So keep working hard. Don't give up. You can do this. I'll see you in the next video.